Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. We're talking about Chuck Todd. It was covering the Donna Brazile revelation that the DNC was completely corrupted. She revealed corruption inside the DNC that was mind-boggling almost, right? That all the money being raised was being funneled to the Hillary Clinton campaign. It was like a money laundering organization, and that the Clinton campaign was running the DNC, literally. So here's how Chuck Todd frames it.
Welcome back. Just days before Democrats face what many consider a must-win race for governor of Virginia, the former chairwoman of the Democratic National Committee has thrown a stink bomb at her party. Two, actually.
A stink bomb is how he refers to it. The revealing of massive corruption inside the DNC, a rigging of the electoral process in the United States on the highest level. And Chuck Todd refers to that as a stink bomb. I guess those Pentagon Papers were a real dookie that Daniel Ellsberg left. Oh, look at that dookie. What, Chuck? What does that tell you about Chuck Todd right there, about his framing about this? What does that tell you? That tells you that Chuck Todd is a tool of the establishment, first at the beginning, step, middle, and end. That's what that tells me. What does it tell you guys?
Yes, I can't help but think about Chuck Todd just being a stink bomb.
Yeah. Remember when Edward Snowden dropped that stink bomb about the NSA's massive surveillance program?
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that stink bomb? What a stink bomb. Chuck Todd compares exposing the truth to throwing a stink bomb because he's never done either.
Pow!
Get the reaction shot on them. That's fantastic.
Boom! Roasted.
I think it's that Chuck Todd just assumes that the truth stinks.
Yeah.
Isn't that it? And he's immune to the smell of bullshit, I guess.
Exactly.
MSNBC, we fight stink bombs of truth with drones of deception.
There it is.
Dylan Radigan used to drop so many stink bombs when he was at MSNBC. They gave him his own bathroom.
Yeah, that was.
That guy. Ooh, do not go in there. Smells like somebody truth bombed in there, stinking it up like someone died. Okay, so let's listen. So that's Chuck Todd.
Donna Brazile claims in her new book that before she took over...
I like how he says claims. You can't back it up. Did you not see the document? That's a bullshit way to get reported. She claims. Well, did you investigate it? You have the whole NBC News to help you. Did you investigate it at all, Chuck? Go ahead.
This is a guy that's not convinced climate change is real. So if he did investigate it, would it really have done anything?
Here we go.
DNC, the process was essentially rigged in favor of Hillary Clinton over Bernie Sanders. And perhaps more alarming, Brazile writes that after Clinton's September 11th fainting spell, she considered trying to replace the struggling Clinton-Tim Kaine ticket with Vice President Joe Biden and New Jersey Senator Cory Booker.
Boy, I remember when that happened. People tried to smear us by saying we were pushing a theory that Hillary Clinton had Parkinson's. Turns out Donna Brazile was so scared about her health problems that she wanted to replace her. Turns out we were onto something. And the reason why we said that was because Hillary Clinton, they lied about it all day long. You remember when she fell? First they said she was overheated, but she never took her coat off. And then we saw her lock up and fall face first and her shoe flew off. And then they lied about it. They didn't take her to a hospital. They took her to her daughter's apartment. And they had her come out a few hours later and hug a kid. And they go, oh, no, she had pneumonia, and it's been going around our Brooklyn campaign office. And you go, well, if she had pneumonia, why is she out hugging a kid? Oh, no, it's not the kind that's contagious. Well, if it's not the kind that's contagious, why did you say it was going around your Brooklyn headquarters? So they kept lying and lying and lying. And then they go, oh, well, she had aspirational pneumonia, which is the kind of pneumonia that's not contagious. Guess who gets that? People with Parkinson's. It's the number one leading cause of death with people from Parkinson's. So that's why we said that. We were trying to speculate as to why they kept lying. Why wouldn't they take a 68-year-old woman with a history of brain trauma to an emergency room after she passes out? Secondly, why did they keep lying about it all day long? And then they finally told the truth around, 6 or 8 o'clock in the evening. And then they said they were going to cancel the rest of her schedule. I thought she was fine. And then they decided to cancel the rest of her schedule. Remember that? So we were trying to speculate, why would they lie like this? That's what you're allowed to do that. So people got upset that we were trying to speculate why they were lying, but they weren't upset that the campaign was lying. Donna Brazile said it was shameful that the way they handled her illness, and she wanted to replace Hillary Clinton on the ticket. But somehow, so when people would disagree with us politically, they try to smear us by saying we're pushing some kind of conspiracy theory about, no, that's Donna Brazile wanted to replace her. Is she also horrible? Okay, I guess now they think so because she told the truth about the Clintons. So that happened. Go ahead, Ron.
Well, I was going to say, I like how the whole theme in this entire video, like the whole theme that Chuck Todd is parroting here, is that Donna Brazile's obligation to the Clinton campaign and her party is more important than her obligation to the American people.
Right.
Oh, how is that? That's so appalling. That's an older woman collapsed, and Donna Brazile thought we might need to replace her. You mean she was doing her job?
Yeah.
You mean her job was to get a viable candidate to face the opposition? And if she thought, well, maybe if this person can't continue for health reasons, we need to get somebody else? You mean she was doing her job to the people, and that's appalling because the person was Clinton, or that made the Democratic Party look bad? Like, what? Like, it's just totally bogus. Like, thoughts about Clinton and how that was reported aside, like, that's just common sense, you know?
You know, when you see a guy like Chuck Todd, he's so vanilla. And then he has this kind of diluted news speak where he frames things where you're supposed to accept it, where you're saying, like, no, there's evidence available for you that you could have certainly researched it. But when he says, you know, yes, there's questionable practices that the Clinton Foundation influenced the DNC and rigged it against Bernie Sanders. And then he says, but the more alarming element, completely compromising the will of the people isn't alarming enough?
Right. So it's more alarming that she wanted to replace someone who was sick and who was going to lose to Donald Trump. That's more alarming than finding out that the complete electoral process in the primary was completely rigged. That's more alarming. That's what you're saying.
Yes,
I know. I'm with you. I agree. That's BS. So here he is. So now he sits down to talk with.
Oh no!
And watch this.
So do you agree with the Clinton campaign that Donna Brazile fell for Russian propaganda?
Did you hear that question? I'm going to play it for you again.
So do you agree with the Clinton campaign that Donna Brazile fell for Russian propaganda?
That's an actual question being asked by the number one newsman in America, Meet the Press host Chuck Todd, asking the DNC chair if the former DNC chair got swindled by Russians. What? What propaganda was she swindled by, Chuck? That Hillary Clinton didn't fall down face and wasn't sick, and she didn't fall on her face, and they didn't lie about it all day. What was the Russian propaganda? Did the Russians make that agreement between Hillary Clinton and the Democratic National Committee? Was the Russians who did that? Chuck Todd literally just asked that question as if it's an actual question. Did Donna Brazile fall for Russian propaganda? Is she just a complete dupe of the Russians? That's what Chuck Todd is saying. That's your number one newsman. And now you know why that guy didn't graduate college. That's a literal question. That guy, if you don't need to have a license to be a journalist, but if you did, he should have his taken away. He should be disbarred. If there was a thing, if you could disbar people from journalism, that's unbelievable. What is this, 1950? Are you kidding me? Did Donna Brazile...
So do you agree with the Clinton campaign that Donna Brazile fell for Russian propaganda?
I mean, I don't know. Is that not the most disgusting thing you've ever seen on television?
That is a grossly leading question. Like, that is just so, like, it's like that's fit for like a courtroom where the jury is bought.
Yeah.
like that's just such a nonsensical question. And I don't think Chuck Todd even grasps why that's a terrible question. Like, I'm sure that question was handed to him, and he just read. I think he has some concept of what he's doing. Like, I don't think he's totally innocent, but I do think part of him, he is not that bright. Like I really do feel that way about him.
Well,
He is not that bright.
It's obvious he's not that bright because he admits to stuff he should never admit to. Like when he admitted to Lewis Black that he doesn't ask tough questions of his guests because he's always thinking that he has to rebook them. They have to come back on, so he doesn't want to bark at them. Remember he said that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? He said, so that's him being dumb to reveal that. You shouldn't tell anybody that, especially on camera.
So Chuck Todd is so nefarious because he seems so reasonable.
Yes.
That's the danger of Chuck Todd.
So here we go. There's a little bit more to this.
I don't know what Donna Brazile fell for, but all I know is under the rules and bylaws of the Democratic National Committee, she couldn't have done this. Hillary Clinton was anything but in.
So he's lying. So when he says that under the rules, is he talking about replacing her, that she couldn't have done this? Is that what he means? Donna Brazile didn't say that. She knew that she had to run this by the full DNC. She knew that they had to have a meeting to do. She couldn't just do it unilaterally. She knows that. She said that in her article. So again, his jumping off point is to lie to you. That's Tom Perez. His jumping off point is to misrepresent what's happening and to lie to you. That's his first thing out of his mouth.
I like how even when he's fed his party's number one talking point, he still can't answer a direct question. Like, it's like he needs someone to, no, this is what you're supposed to parrot. He's like, oh, like, not this, there's no card over here about the DNC. No, you can say yes to this because it's, he's feeding you. Chuck Todd's feeding you, Tom.
And you know, when Tom Perez was tapped for the DNC, right? Supposedly Obama made that suggestion. To me, I just get the feeling, how much influence did the Clintons continue with this selection with Tom Perez, being that he was a huge advocate and supporter of Hillary Clinton and the TPP? Yes, and the WikiLeaks revealed that he had ideas on how to sabotage Bernie. Remember how he was like, oh, we'll show that it was his idea to paint Bernie as the candidate of white people. That was Tom Perez. That was revealed. So, and I guess according to the Clinton campaign and now Chuck Todd, that Russia created an entire mirage of Donna Brazile's experience at the DNC, and Donna Brazile fell for it. Is that what happened? The Russians just created a mirage of her. This isn't what happened. Did they hypnotize her? You're getting sleepy. This is what really happened.
We make hologram, and then they put businessmen in White House.
Incapacitated. She was tireless. She was
tireless.
Was a workhorse.
Yes, Hillary. She worked tirelessly to cheat progressives out of a good president. She worked tirelessly on her own behalf to cheat, lie, and steal the nomination. But she bought it. She didn't steal it. She bought it. So when people say, oh, she bailed out the DNC, what she did, that's a 100-millionaire plutocrat buying the nomination. That's what that's called. That's not bailing out the DNC. She funneled none of the money to down-ballot races, and it all went to her campaign. She didn't bail him out. She bought the nomination.
I wish they would have called the Victory Fund All My Money Fund.
Yeah. The AMF, All My Money Fund.
Dollars with her.
So here we go.
And frankly, what's
so whenever someone says frankly and they're a politician, the next thing coming is a lie. So let's see what he says. What's the lie?
I think people who read that charge, which is just without merit, are going to perhaps start wondering about other claims in the book.
So his biggest concern is that people might start to doubt Donna Brazile's book. That's what he just said, his biggest concern. What makes him the saddest is that people might start to doubt other things in her. No. What really makes him the saddest is that people won't doubt what she's saying in her book. So that's a guy pushing propaganda, trying to undercut the truth that Donna Brazile is giving us. He's trying to say, she's lying about this. I'm afraid people won't believe anything she says. That's what you're. So again, he's a shitty liar, Tom Perez. He's always been a shitty liar. He's transparent. I see right through him. And if I see right through him, everybody sees right through him. That guy's a fucking bullshitter who's working against you 24/7. I know why he's doing it for money.
Well, frankly, Jimmy, I'm looking at Tom Perez's Twitter timeline, and it's actually quite good.
Ha! His biggest concern, Tom Perez's biggest concern isn't that the book isn't true. The biggest concern is that the book is true. That's his biggest concern. What a shitty liar. What specific Russian propaganda did she fall for? Mm-hmm. That's the question Chuck Todd will never ask. What specific Russian propaganda? He just throws out that bullshit blanket smear, and that guarantees he'll always have a job. So now they move on to this. Donna Brazile's account cannot simply be dismissed. Well, that's what Chuck Todd and that's what Tom Perez is doing.
Said this, Donna Brazile's account cannot simply be dismissed. Okay, Elizabeth Warren says you're being tested. How are you going to restore trust with Sanders supporters that the DNC is going to be a fair place?
It's going to be a fair place. Now listen to this answer. It's a horrible answer. It's why he gets booed in public. They boo him in public when he shows up to talk. Do you know that? They just start booing him. And this is why. Because Tom Perez is a liar and a bullshitter, and he's lying to you, not the Russians, not the Republicans. He's lying to you. And he's shitty at it. He's not good like Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton's a great liar. So same thing with Barack Obama. It made you feel good after they were done lying. This guy makes you feel like you need a shower.
It's going to be a fair arbiter here for the party.
Hey, I accept every test because I ran for this office because I believe in this party and I knew we needed to up our game, Tim. I'm thinking of Tim Russert.
No, a lot of us.
Ha, 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 ha.
I'm a Buffalo guy.
That's
You got to
okay.
understand that, Chuck. But here's my view on this. When I hear the word rigged, let's be very clear. Hillary Clinton won the Democratic primary by 4 million votes. The Democratic National Committee does not run elections for primaries. The Republican National Committee does not run elections. States run elections, and those elections were run by the states. We run caucuses, and Bernie Sanders did very well in the caucuses. Where I think both Senator Warren and Keith Ellison and myself, where we agree is we have to earn the trust of the vote.
So he just keeps saying that, but he never tells you what he's going to do to earn the trust. We gotta and make people know that we're. But what are you going to do? You're going to get rid of superdelegates? You're going to open up your closed primaries? You're going to schedule debates ahead of time? What are you doing to win trust back?
Well, we're putting hope on the ballot.
You're going to put your values on the ballot? What do you guys do? He doesn't say. You just purged your DNC of all the progressives. You got rid of the only Arab American, and no one cares about that. So you're purging the party right now of progressives, and you have no what? Listen, well, let's listen. He has one plan. His only plan is the debate thing to announce debates ahead of time. That's his only plan. Nothing else. Hey, listen.
And during the process of the Democratic primary, we fell short in that, undeniably. And I accepted that responsibility. And here's what we're doing about it. Right. Number one.
They fell short of it. Do you see the words he uses? That's like saying Charlie Manson fell short of taking care of those people at the Tate Mansion. He fell short of taking care of them. They murdered them. But he did. That's what he said. We fell short. The DNC fell short. No, you completely rigged the primary for one candidate. That's not falling short. Do you see the? Okay.
In the future, moving forward to 2020, we're going to be announcing our Democratic debate schedule before we know who the candidates are, because the number one goal has to be fair and transparent. All of our fundraising agreements.
Which is why the budget is still opaque, isn't it? Why is the DNC budget not known? Why is that, Tom? Because you're still funneling money to all of the consultant class? Is that why? Why don't people know where you're spending the money? Because if it was transparent, we would have known all that money went to Hillary Clinton's campaign. That people were donating $363,000 at a clip to the DNC. That was money was supposed to go to the DNC and down ballot. Right? It went to Hillary Clinton's campaign. And so he's not. It's just words, just garbage. It's all Tom Perez has is garbage.
Partnerships will be available to everyone, as they were actually in 2016. And then what we have to do is make sure we're also working with voters up and down America, rural America, urban America, everywhere in between to earn their trust.
Don't you owe the Sanders campaign?
Or to earn their trust. How are you going to earn their trust, Tom? Well, we're going to keep taking corporate money and keep our budget opaque. That doesn't work. We're going to keep super delegates and primaries closed. Nothing, he's saying. And now here's Chucky Todd.
An investigation. I mean, Donna Brazile put that charge out. Don't you and Keith Ellison, shouldn't you guys look back and see if her charges are true?
Well, again, I totally agree, Chuck, with the notion that the DNC fell short.
No.
So you agree with Donna Brazile or you don't? So you agree with her? So again, this is him mealy mouth. This is him trying to be on both sides of this question. Yes, we agree. We did. We fell short. How did you? So Donna Brazile was lying, or she's right then? And of course, Chuck Todd doesn't ever hold his feet to the fire on this.
During critical
So they did play
moments of the primary, I think
she's right.
we have to do better. Is what we have to.
So Chuck Todd goes. So they did play favorites. So she's right, and Todd Perez just ignores it. Just ignores it.
Chuck, and that's why I was very clear during our primary campaign, during the campaign for DNC chair, that we have to make sure that everybody feels at the end of the process that everyone got a fair shake. That's what we're about,
Again,
Chuck. That's what we have
way
to
do it.
That's how we earn people's
Right.
trust.
I got to ask you about Tuesday's elections.
That's how we earn people's trust, by not doing anything.
Tom-
We earn people's trust by me talking, by me be saying platitudes. That's how, if you could earn people's trust by spewing platitudes, Tom Perez is your guy.
Yeah, Tom Perez is about as clear as a tar pit. That guy is incapable of being clear about anything. He couldn't even tell you what he had for breakfast this morning.
And let's remember what Dylan Radigan says.
The Democrats. The Democrats want you to believe that their party is, of course, wonderful and fabulous and wants to help save the world and all the rest of this. And they want you to believe that the only problem with the American political system is the Republicans, and more importantly, the corruption of the American political system and the Republicans by the Russians. This, of course, would be the most horrible thing that could come from the current political situation. Because if we allow the Democratic Party to convince anybody, ridiculous they've even convinced themselves, that the primary issue with the American political process is Donald Trump and the Republicans, that validates their capacity to sustain themselves in a disgusting and corrupt fashion.
Disgusting.
The reality is, the only reason we have Donald Trump as our president and these horrendous Republicans is because of the unadulterated failure and corruption in the Democratic Party. Think about how bad, how unappealing, how offensive Barack Obama and ultimately Hillary Clinton had to be to the American population in order for them to even remotely begin to choose someone like Donald Trump as a better alternative. Think about how bad people have to view the level of corruption in the Democratic Party to think of Donald Trump as a remotely preferable alternative. Donald Trump is terrible. The Republicans are offensive beyond comprehension. But the solution is not the Democrats. The solution is a final terminal bypass of these two utterly corrupt political parties. And the Democrats are desperately fighting to try to convince you and everybody else that the only problem is the Republicans and Trump, and that they are quite actually perfect in their own way, when they are the ones who are the biggest contributors to the Trump campaign and the Trump problem.
And now you know why people get their news from YouTube. And by the way, YouTube is making it harder for people like you to see our videos. They're unsubscribing people from our channel. They're also not giving people notices when we drop videos. So please make sure we're dropping videos all the time. And if you subscribe, make sure you subscribe. Hit that bell next to it. Click the bell so you get a notification. And thanks for coming to our live shows. Our next one is December 4th in Burbank, California. There's also one in a smaller room, November 20th at the Improv in Hollywood. And you can help support the show by becoming a patron. We give you premium stuff. We give you extra videos every week, at least over an hour. And thanks for your support.